Restored.Republic.via.a.GCR, the latest video will be shown earlier at the official website Restored.Republic.co. Judy note to be prepared, we are facing an impending global financial crash including cyber attacks on banks. We can look out for the domestic terrorism of the U.S. Department of Defense, World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, Bill Gates, Pfizer and Moderna. We live with a Democratic Party dark agenda that included allowing open borders. We are dealing with a global food crisis, and with the fiat US dollar now not accepted for international trade, we're headed for a Christmas season with major goods shortages. On October 5, 1582, much of Europe replaced the Julian calendar with the Gregorian calendar. The switch required the 10 days after October 4 to be skipped, referred to as the 10 Days of Darkness. Monday 2nd of October, Wolverine Shelton said on his call that the 10 Days of Darkness and 12 Days of Disclosures would start after an event on Wednesday 4th of October. Monday 2nd of October, the clock ticks down, government shutdown and an impending food crisis, what you need to know. Monday 2nd of October, global domestic terrorism, military intelligence website predicted in 2015 that 260 million people in the United States would be gone by the year 2025, doctors confirm. What we think we know as of Monday, October 2, 2023, on Saturday 30th of September. The U.S. Congress diverted a government shutdown by borrowing monies from the Chinese Communist Party to fund themselves for the next 45 days. It has not been made public what kind of a deal the Democrats made with the CCP in order to keep the U.S. incorporated government going until November 15, 2023. Sunday 1st of October was the beginning of the new fiscal year. We will have freedom from debt through implementation of a global currency reset of gold/asset-backed currency. On Monday 2nd of October, Alex Collier received word that the National Guard has been deployed throughout the United States. 5,000 Starlink satellites were floating across the sky and ready for an emergency alert system, EAS, activation. The EAS was not to be confused with the pending FEMA Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, test where the cabal planned to attack our phones, TVs and Wi-Fi technology on Wednesday 4th of October. Between 2 and 4 p.m. EST. It was advised to turn them off during that time in order to avoid 5G attacks. Congressional U.S. Incorporated President impeachment hearings have begun on Joe Biden. Though, Joe Biden was not really Joe Biden and has been played by several actors since his so-called inauguration in January 2021. The real Joe Biden faced the noose in January 2021 just prior to his fake inauguration to U.S. Incorporated. President after being charged and convicted of crimes against humanity by the military, which has been in charge of the American government since Trump turned it over to them after the 2020 election that the military found to be ingrained in fraud. Congress, Biden arrested as military rescues tortured children from tunnels beneath Capitol Hill. U.S. Incorporated was not representative of U.S. citizens, but a privately owned entity which took over and has controlled U.S. taxpayer monies since 1913. U.S. Incorporated was run and privately owned by bankers like Rothschild and Rockefellers, the Crown Bank of London and Vatican. U.S. Incorporated was broke. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2018, the so-called mortgage crisis, and were awarded that bankruptcy in 2020 case hash, 2040,375 kks. The Internal Revenue Service, which collected U.S. taxes, was also privately owned by the bankers, as was the Federal Reserve. In 2007, Alan Greenspan, chairman of the Federal Reserve from 1987 to 2006, said that the Federal Reserve was an independent agency that was not a part of the U.S. government, was above the law and could print as much money as they wanted with no one to stop them. That printing of fiat U.S. dollars has led to the Federal Reserve being shut down. In September 2023, the Fed laid off over 300 workers and was taken off the debt clock. The Fed building in Washington, D.C. has been wrapped entirely in white plastic with excavation going on beneath it. The Fed had planned to finance itself through creation of non-asset-backed digital currency, but that idea was shot down by Congress since the fiat U.S. dollar was defunct. The privately owned U.S. incorporated government operated under Admiralty law, maritime law or law of the sea, and not under constitutional common law, giving U.S. citizens no standing in their own court system. The reason the Brunson petitions on voter fraud in the 2020 election have not been heard, and the reason Ken Cromar of the Ken and Barbie vs. Goliath IRS case sits in jail with no way to defend himself even though he won his case in a federal tax court. all of which and lots more would soon be explained and taken care of under constitutional guidelines upon activation of the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, that will broadcast worldwide with documentaries in 55 languages and 600 dialects on all channels on the planet. Courtesy of the Alliance Space Force, a very different broadcast from the Wednesday 4th of October. FEMA EASE test is explained below. Be warning, word was that during the FEMA Emergency Broadcast System test on Wednesday 4th of October, the cabal had plans to attack our phones, TVs and Wi-Fi technology. Absolutely do not participate. Turn off all devices. Unplug all computers. Disconnect all information technology from Wi-Fi between 2 and 4 p.m. EST on Wednesday 4th of October. Emergency alert test is coming. When is the test? What will it say? Monday 2nd of October, warning, October 4th 2023, preparing for the big SHTF or just another test by FEMA. C. October 4th FEMA Emergency Alert System. 5G frequencies and 5G towers were not designed to help with cell phone coverage. If you send out a certain frequencies such as found with 5G for over a min, it will activate certain things in the body. Those harming frequencies could be broadcast during the Wednesday 4th of October. FEMA Emergency Alert System test for the U.S. Because of the dangers of frequencies that were ingrained in the Emergency Alert System test, it was advised to shut off phones, TVs, etc. between 2 to 4 p.m. EST on Wednesday 4th of October. D. White Hat Intel. The United States is under military control. This event has already happened. These operations and continuity of government, COG, is the principle of establishing defined procedures that allow a government to continue its essential operations in case of a catastrophic event such as nuclear war. In the U.S., COG is no longer limited to nuclear emergencies. The Continuity of Operations Plan was activated following the September 11th attacks. Moreover, these operations coincide with the Department of Defense military laws of war that can be activated through presidential powers, executive orders that execute and addresses military occupation. Chapter 11.3 Laws of War. Covert and overt military operations. Trump, Musk and Tucker Carlson were working together behind the scenes. The U.S. White Hat military is controlling the Supreme Court SCOTUS. The Brunson case is being saved for the exposure of a military coup that happened through 2020 stolen election. Possible global currency reset timeline. The Forex was down all Sunday evening 1st of October, and then came up Monday morning 2nd of October with all values set to zero. Monday 2nd of October Frank 26, all red high alert. Monday 2nd of October TNT Tony. It's all supposed to happen Monday night 2nd of October. Banks have told people they have given SKRs to that they will be liquid tonight. Monday 2nd of October. Three-letter agencies are saying after 3 p.m. Eastern Monday 2nd of October into the night. 2s. 3rd of October is Iraq's Independence Day, and on Wednesday 4th of October, they are to be accepted into the World Trade Organization. Monday 2nd of October. Stacy, I was in my bank today. The manager told me he cannot divulge a date, but the change in currency, his words, has been updated today. The screen show Bolivar, Dong and Dinar. He didn't know about the Zim bonds or agrochecks, but there are 206 currencies on their screen now. They cannot exchange until they are given the go. The software has completed and they tested the De Lauro machine they have. Monday 2nd of October. Wolverine, I received a very important call today. I am very emotional. All I can tell you is that we are ready. We are ready. This is defiantly coming. Keep an eye on your emails. Monday 2nd of October. Marks, I would say it's a high possibility that we would go this week. I have a number of contractor sources in Iraq who verify that yes, HCL money is indeed moving and people are getting paid. Even in the Kurdish and northern Iraqi area where they have been waiting forever to get their salaries. One of my contacts said that he was told to hang on to as much dinar as he could as they were expecting a value change in the very near future. Near enough that a few sources are traveling back to Iraq later this week in the hopes that this is it for them. So to answer the question, is it possible this week? Well, things are sure lining up. I was hearing there was really strange military movement over the weekend. Reports from the National Guard and people being called up, being rearranged, troop movements, looks like something is gearing up. Bruce, according to instructions given to some redemption centers, Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group, could be notified to set exchange/redemption appointments on Monday 2nd of October. Judy note, intel received from a high-up source indicated that Tier 4B may not be notified until Friday 6 October, with appointments starting the next day. 2s. 3 October has been officially designated as the National Day of the Republic of Iraq to celebrate Iraqi freedom from the U.S. incorporated on that 2s. 3 October Iraq would likely declare that they were a sovereign nation. On that same 2s. 3 October the stock market was expected to continue to sell off, and when it hit 20% it would be at the point of no return and close early. On Wednesday 4 October Iraq would be welcomed to the World Trade Organization with a fully reinstated Iraqi dinar international traded currency. Wednesday 4 October was also considered the day when the official stock market crash would happen. A test on the worldwide emergency broadcast system has been scheduled for Wednesday 4 October. Hal Turner, October 4 test of emergency alert system, nationwide. No, it's not the zombie apocalypse. Monday 2 October Wolverine, Shelton said on his call that the 10 days of darkness and 12 days of disclosures would start after this event on Wednesday 4 October. By 2s. 10 October the bulk of redemption appointments and exchanges were expected to be done. On Wednesday 11 October, another possible EBS date with Biden removal, that would kick off a 4-month military action. The second week of October the restitution and reparation funds will be given out for seniors over 60 in a lump sum. For ages 50 to 60 they will be paid out over a 12-month period and ages 30 to 49 paid out over a 15-year period, Bruce. The end of October Sidney Powell has a date with the Supreme Court to present evidence on 2020 election fraud. On Wednesday 1 November, it was the goal to have currency exchanges and ZIM bond redemptions completed, at which time the U.S. federal dollar would be considered worthless. In November Social Security will be paid out in much higher payments, Bruce. The SSR&R payments start on a monthly basis beginning in January 2024, Bruce. On January 1, 2024 the fiat U.S. dollar will be worth nothing. Also starting January 1, 2024 all currencies across the globe will be on par 1-to-1 with each other. Rumor GCR recent history, walking stick, an Iraqi citizen and bank owner, the tender for the currency and coins has been met per request, meaning, requirements, for release of the new Iraqi dinar exchange rate has been fulfilled. Wolverine, the funds have been released and placed on the quantum financial system. On Friday 15 September Iraq officially RVD their dinar. On Friday 22 September Iraq announced the new Iraqi dinar international rate as $11.90. On that same Friday 22 September the quantum financial system took over the global financial system. On Sunday evening 24 September the QFS was activated, with all funds gold-backed. On Thursday 28 September Iraq abolished the dollar in its currency auctions, Central Bank of Iraq. On Thursday 28 September a 10-day process began of an automatic increase in the value of the dinar, franc 26. On Friday 29 September the HCL oil payments to Iraqi citizens was being paid with an in-country rate of $5+. Friday 29 Sept was a dramatic beginning of the stock market crash. The Chinese Communist Party defense minister, plus the CEO of the world's largest real estate company, the CCP's Evergrande, had gone missing. That halted Evergrande shares on a stock market that was already in free fall, while odds soared for a U.S. government shutdown by Sunday 1 October. Any, or all of which could easily bring on a global financial crisis that would trigger a global currency reset. Sunday 1 October was the first banking day of October in the Mideast and start of the new U.S. fiscal year. All banks were required to be on the gold/asset-backed quantum financial system rather than the old fiat currency SWIFT system by Sunday 1 October. On Monday 2 October the Iraqi WS Bank U.S. branch was open for business. As the stock market reopened sell-offs would continue, that was expected to trigger an early close of all trading until 2's. 3 October morning. Global financial crisis. Monday 2 October Jazar and Nizra, the biggest transfer of wealth ever, we're never going back to the old system. Monday 2 October U.S. Fed official says high interest rates likely for some time. This is the only way they can attract Treasury bond investors to fund the debt, but it's going to backfire massively. More expensive capital is going to accelerate the collapse by causing prices to increase at a time when most folks are already defaulting on their payments and the rest of the world is through financing our toxic debt. The real issue here isn't inflation or devaluation so much as de-dollarization. The Fed is trying to pull another rabbit out of their hat, but this time it won't work. We have shut down their illicit revenue streams that prop up the USD. Monday 2nd of October. Dramatic shift in the global financial ecosystem. Global central banks abandon US dollar for glittering gold, the Great Gold Rush. Why did the Central African Republic toss out Bitcoin, the street crypto? Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news, advice, analysis and more. FTX exploiter moved over $17 million in #ETH in the last 24 hours. A significant portion of the 7,749 ETH, worth roughly $13 million, was directed toward the Thorchain router and railgun contract. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, RBZ, has announced its intention to introduce a new transactional currency called Zimbabwe Gold, ZiG, which will be backed by the valuable mineral resource. These gold-backed digital tokens, GBDT, are designed for transactional purposes to streamline payments. Monday 2nd of October. Tokyo, China, Reuters. Japanese stocks soared on Monday, with the exporter-heavy Nikkei 225 share average buoyed by the yen slide to its lowest point in nearly a year and after the U.S. avoided a government shutdown. However, the rest of the region's equity markets were mixed, with Australia's oil and resource shares hurt by the decline in crude prices last week. Trading was also thinned by a market holiday in Hong Kong, while mainland China had been shut since Friday for the Golden Week holiday, which runs until the end of this week. German MEP, Christine Anderson, explained how CBDCs, in conjunction with digital ID, will be used to exert absolute control over the global population. If you don't comply, they will just shut down your bank account. And it's not like it hasn't happened before. Look to Canada. There were people standing up for their freedom, for their right not to get some unknown substance injected into their arms. They shut down their bank accounts. So if there was no cash, what are you going to do? They can just eliminate you with a flip of a switch. It's as simple as that.